The massive ship floated in the black space near Earth's moon. It was bigger than any human city, made of metal that shined like silver. Strange lights blinked along its sides. Inside the ship, creatures from different worlds walked through long halls. Commander Veltar stood on the main deck, looking at the blue planet through the big window. His skin was green and covered with hard scales like armor. He was 8 feet tall with yellow eyes that could see in the dark. Sharp teeth filled his mouth. Behind him, other alien warriors waited for orders. "So this is the famous Deathworld," said War Chief Grex in his deep voice. Grex was even bigger than Veltar, with thick gray skin and muscles like rocks. His people had won wars on 12 different planets. He had killed more enemies than he could count. "Earth," Veltar said the word slowly. "The records say it is one of the most dangerous planets in this part of space. Too much water. The air burns with poison called oxygen. The gravity is too strong. The weather changes without warning." Other aliens stood around them. There was Captain Morak, whose people could breathe fire. There was General Thane, whose race had metal bones and could crush stone with their hands. All of them were warriors. All of them had conquered worlds. How did such weak creatures survive on a world like this? Asked Captain Morak. Smoke came from his nose when he talked. "That is what we are here to find out," Veltar replied. "The Galactic Council wants to know if humans can join us. They want to know if humans are strong enough to fight beside us." The aliens laughed. They had seen the human ships, small and simple. They had seen human weapons, basic and weak. How could creatures this weak survive on a planet that killed most other life forms? "Commander," said a voice from the communication desk. "The humans are sending a small ship. They want to talk." "Let them come," Veltar said. "But keep our weapons ready. Deathworld creatures are always dangerous, even the weak ones." The human ship was tiny compared to the alien vessel. It looked like a metal egg with small engines. As it got closer, Veltar could see it had damage marks on its sides. Scratches and dents covered the hull. "Look at their ship," Grex laughed. "It looks like it has been in many fights. These humans must fight each other all the time." The human ship docked with the alien vessel. The airlocks connected with a soft hiss. Veltar and his warriors waited in the docking bay. They wanted to see these Deathworld creatures with their own eyes. The door opened. 2 humans walked out. Veltar was surprised. They were so small. The male human was only 6 feet tall. The female was even shorter. They had no scales, no claws, no armor. Their skin looked soft and easy to cut. Their teeth were flat and dull. How did these weak creatures survive? But something was strange. The humans did not look afraid. They walked into the room full of alien warriors like they owned the place. The male human wore a blue uniform with metal pieces on his chest. The female wore white clothes and carried a small bag. "I am Captain Juan," the male human said. His voice was calm and steady. "This is Dr. Nari. Thank you for letting us come aboard your ship." Veltar looked down at the tiny human. Captain Juan looked back up at him without fear. Most creatures ran away when they saw Veltar's teeth and claws. This human just stood there, waiting. "I am Commander Veltar of the Saurix Empire," he said. "These are my officers. We represent the Galactic Council." Dr. Nari stepped forward. She was even smaller than Captain Juan, but she smiled at the alien warriors like they were old friends. "We are happy to meet you," she said. We have waited a long time to talk with other species. War Chief Grex moved closer to the humans. His shadow covered them both. "You are very small," he said. "Are all humans this weak?" Captain Juan looked up at the giant alien. "We may be small, but we have survived on our world for thousands of years. That should count for something." "Survived by hiding, perhaps," Captain Morak said. Fire danced in his mouth when he spoke. "No," Dr. Nari said quietly. "We survived by learning to live with our world, not fight against it." The aliens looked at each other. What did that mean? Every species they knew had survived by being stronger than their enemies, by having better weapons, by winning wars. "Come," Veltar said. "We will show you our ship. Then you can tell us about your people." As they walked through the halls, other aliens stopped to stare at the humans. They whispered to each other in their own languages. Some pointed at the humans' soft skin and small size. Others wondered how such weak creatures could walk among warriors without shaking with fear. Captain Juan and Dr. Nari acted like tourists seeing new sights. They asked questions about the ship's technology. They complimented the alien architecture. They seemed genuinely interested in everything they saw. "Your people seem very calm," Veltar said as they walked. "Most species are nervous when they first meet us." "Why would we be nervous?" Dr. Nari asked. "You invited us here to talk. We trust that you will keep us safe." Trust. The word made the aliens uncomfortable. In their experience, trust was something you earned through strength. These humans offered it freely to creatures that could kill them without effort. They reached the main conference room. The aliens sat in chairs designed for their large bodies. The humans sat in smaller chairs that had been brought for them. They looked like children at a table full of adults. "Tell us about your world," Veltar said. "Tell us how humans survived on a death world." Captain Juan and Dr. Nari looked at each other. Then they smiled. "Commander," Dr. Nari said, "I think there has been a misunderstanding. Earth is not a death world to us. Earth is our home. It is where we belong." The aliens stared at her. How could a planet that killed most life forms be called home? "Perhaps," Captain Juan said, "you would like to see for yourselves what makes humans different from other species." Something in his tone made the alien warriors pause. There was no fear in his voice. No worry. Just calm confidence. For the first time since arriving at Earth, Commander Veltar felt uncertain about what they might discover. Commander Veltar led the humans to a special room deep inside the ship. The walls were made of the strongest metal in the galaxy. Energy shields covered every surface. This was where they tested the most dangerous creatures they found on different worlds. "We want to show you something," Veltar said as they walked. "It will help you understand the galaxy better." Captain Juan and Dr. Nari followed behind the group of alien warriors. 2 more humans had joined them from their ship. Lieutenant Day was a thin woman with quick eyes who carried communication equipment. Engineer Juan was a quiet man with steady hands and tools hanging from his belt. "What kind of test?" Dr. Nari asked. "A simple demonstration," War Chief Grex said with a smile that showed his huge teeth. "We want to show you the kind of creatures that live in our galaxy. Creatures that even warriors like us treat with respect." The testing chamber was enormous. The ceiling disappeared into darkness above them. The floor was made of the same strong metal as the walls. In the center of the room sat a large cage made of energy beams. "Please stand behind the safety barrier," Veltar said, pointing to a thick wall of glass. You will be safe there. The humans walked to the barrier without fear. They looked through the glass at the empty chamber like they were watching a movie. In that cage, Veltar explained, we keep one of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. It is called a Vorthak. They come from the death moons of Zerion, where nothing else can live. How big is it? Lieutenant Day asked, checking her. Recording equipment. 12 feet tall, Captain Morak answered. Claws that can cut through battle armor. Teeth filled with acid that melts metal. Speed faster than most spacecraft. Sounds impressive, Engineer Juan said calmly. He was looking at the energy cage like he was studying how it worked. War Chief Grex pressed a button on the wall. We have. Never seen one of these creatures show fear. They attack everything they see. They have killed hundreds of trained warriors. The energy beams around the cage started to fade. Something moved in the darkness inside. Why are you showing us this? Captain Juan asked. Because, Veltar said, if humans want to join the Galactic Council, you need to understand what real danger looks like. You need to see what creatures from real Deathworlds can do. A low growl came from the cage. The sound made the metal walls vibrate. Several alien warriors stepped back, even though they were behind the safety barrier. Here it comes, Grex whispered. Vorthak stepped into the light. It was bigger than any creature the humans had ever seen. Its body was covered in black scales that looked like metal armor. 6 legs moved like a giant spider, each one ending in claws the size of swords. Its head was long and narrow, filled with rows of sharp teeth. Acid dripped from its mouth, making small holes in the metal floor. The aliens watched the humans, waiting to see them shake with fear, waiting to see them beg for protection, waiting to see them understand how small and weak they really were. Instead, Dr. Nari leaned forward and pressed her face against the glass. Oh my, she said softly. Look at those movement patterns. The muscle structure is fascinating, Engineer Juan added, pulling out a small device to take measurements. Is it intelligent? Lieutenant Day asked, already recording everything with her equipment. The aliens stared at the humans. Where was the fear? Where was the terror? The Vorthak was the most dangerous creature in their collection, and these tiny humans were studying it like scientists. Are you not afraid? Captain Morak asked. Smoke poured from his nose in confusion. Of what? Captain Juan replied. It is in a cage. You said we would be safe behind this barrier. War Chief Grex felt his confidence slipping away. But this creature has killed hundreds of warriors. It destroys everything it sees. That does sound like a problem, Dr. Nari agreed. What do you usually do with creatures like this? We keep them locked up, Veltar said. They are too dangerous to release. Have you tried talking to it? Engineer Juan asked. The aliens looked at each other. Talk to a Vorthak? The idea was insane. Vorthaks did not talk. They only killed. You cannot talk to a Vorthak, General Thane said. His metal bones creaked as he moved. They are pure killing machines. Everything can communicate somehow, Dr. Nari said. We just have to find the right way. The Vorthak started moving around its cage. Its claws made sparks when they hit the metal floor. Its yellow eyes looked for enemies to attack. When it saw the humans through the glass, it let out a roar that shook the entire room. The alien warriors jumped back. Even behind the safety barrier, the sound was terrifying. The humans did not move. Captain Juan stepped closer to the glass. He looked directly at the Vorthak with calm eyes. "It is trying to tell us something," he said. "Yes," Greg said with relief. "It is telling us that it wants to kill everything in this room." "No," Lieutenant Day said, studying her readings. "Look at its body language, the way it moves its head, the position of its claws." "What do you see?" Dr. Nari asked her teammate. "Stress," Lieutenant Day replied. "Confusion. This creature is not just angry, it is scared. The aliens could not believe what they were hearing. A Vorthak? Scared? Impossible." "You are wrong," Veltar said. "Vorthaks fear nothing." "Everything fears something," Engineer Juan said quietly. "Usually they fear being alone." Captain Juan moved even closer to the glass. The Vorthak stopped roaring and tilted its head, studying. "This small creature that was not running away. It has been in this cage for a long time, hasn't it?" Juan asked. 2 years, Captain Morak answered. "We captured it after it destroyed a mining colony." 2 years alone in a cage, Dr. Nari said sadly. "No wonder it is angry." She walked up to the glass and stood next to Captain Juan. The Vorthak looked at both humans with its yellow eyes. "What are you doing?" Veltar demanded. "Building trust," Dr. Nari replied. Then Captain Juan did something that made every alien warrior freeze with terror. He pressed a button that opened a speaker to the cage. "Hello," he said in a gentle voice. "We are not here to hurt you." The Vorthak stopped moving, its head tilted further to the side. "You understand, don't you?" Juan continued. "You are tired of being alone." The creature made a sound that was not a roar. It was softer, almost questioning. "Commander," War Chief Grex whispered, "they are talking to it, and impossible as it seemed, the Vorthak was listening. For the first time in 2 years, the galaxy's most dangerous creature was not trying to kill everything around it. It was trying to understand. The alien warriors stood frozen, watching something they had never seen before. A Vorthak was learning to trust. The Vorthak made another soft sound, nothing like its terrible roar from before. It moved closer to the glass where Captain Juan and Dr. Nari stood. Its yellow eyes looked curious instead of angry. "This is impossible," War Chief Grex whispered. His massive hands shook as he watched. "Vorthaks do not act like this." Dr. Nari pulled a small device from her bag. "Lieutenant Day, can you scan its brain activity?" "Already doing it," Day replied, pointing her equipment at the creature. "This is incredible. Its stress levels are dropping fast. The fear patterns are almost gone." "What did you do to it?" Commander Veltar demanded. "What kind of weapon did you use?" "We did not use any weapon," Captain Juan said calmly. "We just treated it with respect." Engineer Juan stepped forward. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something small and brown. "What is that?" General Thane asked. His metal bones clicked together nervously. "Food," Juan replied simply. "I always carry snacks when I travel." The aliens stared at him. "You want to feed the Vorthak?" "It has been in this cage for 2 years," Juan said. "When was the last time someone gave it a treat instead of just keeping it alive?" Before anyone could stop him, Juan pressed the button that opened a small slot in the energy barrier. The slot was designed to pass food and water to prisoners. "No!" Veltar shouted. "That opening leads directly to the cage." One ignored him. He held the small piece of food near the opening. "Here, friend." "Are you hungry?" The Vorthak's head turned toward the food. It moved slowly, like it was afraid this might be a trick. Its huge claws clicked softly on the metal floor. "It is going to bite off your hand," Captain Morak warned. Smoke poured from his nose in panic. "No," Dr. Nari said, watching the creature carefully. "Look at its body language. It is being gentle on purpose." The Vorthak reached the opening. Very carefully, it extended one claw toward the food. The claw was longer than Juan's entire hand and sharp enough to cut through steel, but it moved like a feather, barely touching the food before taking it. The creature pulled back and ate the small snack. Then it made a sound that shocked every alien in the room. It was purring. "By the stars," Veltar breathed. "I have never heard a Vorthak make that sound." "Of course not," Lieutenant Day said, still recording everything. "No one has ever been nice to one before." The Vorthak moved back to the opening. This time it lowered its massive head and looked directly at Engineer Juan. Its yellow eyes were soft now, not fierce. "I think it wants more," Juan said with a smile. "This is madness," Grex muttered, but he could not look away from what was happening. Dr. Nari joined Juan at the opening. She spoke to the creature in the same gentle voice Captain Juan had used. "You are a beautiful creature," she said. "I bet you are very smart, aren't you?" The Vorthak tilted its head at her words. Then it did something that made the aliens question everything they thought they knew about dangerous creatures. It wagged its tail. "Impossible," General Thane whispered. "Combat creatures do not wag their tails." "Everything wags something when it is happy," Dr. Nari explained. "Dogs wag their tails. Cats twitch their tails. Birds flutter their wings. Even humans smile." "Captain," Juan moved to the control panel. "May I?" he asked Commander Veltar. "May you what?" Veltar replied, still staring at the tail-wagging Vorthak. "May I open the cage?" Every alien in the room stepped back in horror. "Absolutely not!" Veltar shouted. "That creature will kill everyone in this room." "No, it will not," Captain Juan said calmly. "It trusts us now, and we trust it. You have known this creature for 5 minutes," Grex protested. "That is long enough," Dr. Nari said. "Watch its eyes. Look at how it moves. This is not a killer anymore. This is a friend." Lieutenant Day checked her readings again. The aggression hormones are completely gone. Brain activity shows curiosity and affection. Affection? Captain Morak could not believe it. "A Vorthak cannot feel affection." "Every living thing can feel affection," Engineer Juan said. "They just need someone to show it to them first." The Vorthak was now pressing its face against the glass near the humans. Its huge claws tapped gently on the barrier, like it was asking to be let out. "Please," it seemed to say without words, "I do not want to be alone anymore." Captain Juan looked at Commander Veltar. "You wanted to test us. You wanted to see how humans deal with dangerous creatures. This is how we do it." "By getting yourselves killed?" Veltar asked. "By making friends," Dr. Nari replied. Before the aliens could stop him, Captain Juan pressed the button that opened the energy cage. The barrier disappeared. Nothing stood between the humans and the galaxy's most feared predator. The Vorthak stepped out of its prison for the first time in 2 years. The alien warriors reached for their weapons, ready to fight for their lives. But the fight never came. Instead, the Vorthak walked slowly toward the humans. Each step was careful and gentle. When it reached them, It lowered its massive head until it was level with Captain Juan's chest. Then, the impossible happened. Captain Juan reached out and scratched the creature behind what looked like its ears. The Vorthak's purring got louder, its tail wagged faster, its eyes closed in pure contentment. "Good creature," Juan said softly. "You just wanted someone to be kind to you, didn't you?" Dr. Nari pulled out more equipment from her bag. Not weapons or restraints, just simple tools for checking the creature's health. "May I examine you?" she asked the Vorthak politely. "I want to make sure you are feeling well." The creature sat down like an enormous dog. It held perfectly still while Dr. Nari checked its eyes, its teeth, and its claws. When she found a small cut on one of its legs, it let her clean and bandage the wound without complaint. Lieutenant Day continued recording everything. "Remarkable. It is showing complete trust in strangers. This level of social adaptation is incredible." Engineer Juan offered the creature more food. The Vorthak ate from his hand as gently as a bird. The alien warriors stood frozen against the walls. Their most basic understanding of the universe had just been shattered. "How?" Veltar finally managed to ask. "We told you before," Captain Juan said, still petting the now calm creature. "Humans survive by learning to live with our world, not fight against it. This beautiful creature was not evil. It was just lonely and scared." War Chief Grex stared at the scene before him. The galaxy's most dangerous predator was now lying on its side, letting tiny humans scratch its belly. "What kind of species?" he whispered. "Turns monsters into pets?" Dr. Nari looked up from where she was examining the Vorthak's claws. "The same species that lives on a world full of creatures just like this one." The meaning of her words hit the aliens like a physical blow. If this was how humans dealt with the galaxy's most feared creature, what did that say about the creatures that lived on their own world? What kind of monsters did humans call friends back home? Commander Veltar called for an emergency meeting in the ship's main conference room. The Vorthak had been moved to a larger, more comfortable space, where it could move freely. It followed the humans everywhere now, like a giant, loyal shadow. "This changes everything," Veltar said, as the alien officers took their seats. "We need to understand what we are dealing with." Captain Juan, Dr. Nari, Lieutenant Day, and Engineer Juan sat at the table with their new friend lying quietly beside them. The Vorthak's head rested near Dr. Nari's chair, and she absently scratched behind its ears while she talked. "You said you wanted to learn about humans," Dr. Nari said. "Would you like me to show you some of our friends back home?" "Friends?" War Chief Grex asked nervously. "You mean more humans?" "No," Engineer Juan said with a small smile. "She means our animal friends." Dr. Nari activated a holographic display in the center of the table. A three-dimensional image appeared, showing a green field under blue sky. "This is my family's farm," she explained. "I grew up here." The aliens leaned forward to study the image. It looked peaceful and safe. Then Dr. Nari added the animals. "This is our dog, Baram," she said, as a large, furry creature appeared in the hologram. "He weighs about 30 kilograms and runs faster than most humans." The alien warriors stared at the creature. It had sharp teeth and powerful muscles. Its eyes looked intelligent and alert. "You keep predators in your home?" General Thane asked, his metal bones creaking with tension. "Predators?" Lieutenant Day laughed. "Baram is not a predator. He is a family member." The hologram changed to show the dog playing with small human children. The creature was gentle with them, letting them pull its ears and climb on its back. Impossible, Captain Morak whispered. How do you train a predator to be safe around young? We do not train them, Captain Juan explained. We raise them with love. They choose to protect our children because they love our families. Dr. Nari changed the image again. These are our cats. Several smaller creatures appeared in the hologram. They moved like liquid shadows, with sharp claws and quick reflexes. Cats are natural hunters, Dr. Nari continued. They can kill creatures many times their size, but they live in our houses because they want to. Why would hunters want to live with prey? Veltar asked. Because we take care of them, Engineer Juan said. We give them food, shelter, and love. In return, they give us companionship and protection. The hologram showed a cat curled up on a human child's bed, purring softly as the child slept. They guard your young while they sleep? Grex asked in amazement. Of course, Dr. Nari replied. They are family. She changed the image again. This time a massive creature appeared that made all the aliens jump back in their chairs. This is a horse, she said calmly. The creature stood as tall as War Chief Grex and weighed 10 times more than any human. Its hooves looked like weapons, and its powerful legs could crush bones. You keep war beasts? General Thane asked. War beasts? Lieutenant Day giggled. Horses are not for war. Well, not anymore. We ride them for fun. The hologram showed a small, human child sitting on the enormous creature's back, laughing as it ran across the field. A child rides a creature that could kill it with one step? Veltar could not understand. The horse would never hurt the child, Captain Juan explained. They have been partners with humans for thousands of years. Dr. Nari continued the presentation. She showed them cows that weighed more than small spaceships, but let humans drink their milk. She showed them pigs that were smarter than most alien computers but lived happily on human farms. She showed them chickens that could fly and had sharp claws but laid eggs for human families to eat. These are all predators, Captain Morak said, smoke pouring from his nose in confusion. How do you live with so many dangerous creatures? They are not dangerous to us, Engineer Juan said. They are our friends. But how? Grex demanded. How do you make killers into friends? Dr. Nari thought for a moment. Then she pointed to the Vorthak lying peacefully beside her chair. The same way we made friends with him, she said. We show them kindness. We treat them with respect. We prove that we can be trusted. She changed the hologram one more time. This time it showed a human family at dinner. Around the table sat not just humans, but a large dog, 2 cats, and even a small pig. This is my brother's family, Dr. Nari explained. Every meal, they all eat together. The aliens stared at the image. Predators and prey sitting together in peace, sharing food, acting like they belong to the same family. Your families include other species? Veltar asked weakly. Of course, Lieutenant Day said. Why would we leave out our animal friends? Commander Veltar felt his understanding of the universe cracking. Everything he thought he knew about predator and prey relationships was wrong. What about creatures that cannot be tamed? General Thane asked. Surely you have some animals that stay wild and dangerous. The humans looked at each other and started laughing. Well, Captain Juan said, there are bears. Bears? Grex asked. Dr. Nari activated the hologram again. A massive creature appeared that was bigger than the Vorthak and covered in thick fur. It had claws like swords and teeth like daggers. Bears are very strong, she explained. They can break trees with their hands and run faster than our vehicles. The aliens nodded. Finally, a creature that sounded properly dangerous. So you stay away from these bears? Veltar asked hopefully. Oh no, Engineer Juan said cheerfully. Some humans like to take pictures of them. Pictures? Captain Morax. Smoke turned black with shock. Bears are beautiful, Dr. Nari said. Photographers love to get close to them to take good photos. She changed the image to show a human standing just a few meters from a massive bear holding a camera. And sometimes, Lieutenant Day added, if a bear cub loses its mother, humans will raise it. The hologram showed a human woman bottle feeding, a baby bear like it was a human infant. War Chief Grex made a sound like he was choking. You adopt the young of apex predators? If they need help, Captain Juan said simply. All babies deserve a chance to grow up safe and loved. Commander Veltar stood up from his chair on shaky legs. What you are telling us is impossible. No, species can live in peace with so many predators. We do not live in peace with them, Dr. Nari corrected gently. We live as family with them. She gestured to the Vorthak, who opened one yellow eye and wagged its tail at the sound of her voice. Just like we are becoming family with our new friend here. The alien warriors sat in stunned silence. Finally, General Thane asked the question. They were all thinking. If these creatures are what you call pets and family members, he said slowly, what do you call dangerous? The humans looked at each other again. This time, they did not laugh. Well, Captain Juan said carefully, there are mosquitoes. Mosquitoes? Veltar asked. Tiny flying insects, Dr. Nari explained. They bite humans and drink our blood. War Chief Grex leaned forward with interest. Blood-sucking parasites. Finally, creatures that sound truly dangerous. Yes, Lieutenant Day said seriously. Mosquitoes are terrible. Humans hate mosquitoes. The aliens felt relieved. At last, something that made sense. How big are these mosquitoes? General Thane asked. Engineer Juan held up his fingers, showing a space smaller than his fingernail. About this big, he said. The room fell silent again. The most dangerous creatures on Earth, according to humans, were smaller than alien coins. Commander Veltar realized he was beginning to understand why Earth was called a death world. It was not because the planet was dangerous to humans. It was because humans made everything else seem harmless by comparison. 3 days later, Commander Veltar found himself doing something he never thought possible. He was sitting in a human transport ship flying toward the surface of Earth. Beside him, War Chief Grex gripped his seat with white knuckles. General Thane's metal bones rattled with nervousness. Captain Morak had stopped breathing fire completely. The Vorthak sat calmly in the back of the ship, wearing what the humans called a harness. Dr. Nari had explained that it was like a collar, but more comfortable for larger creatures. The Vorthak seemed to enjoy wearing it, especially since it was bright red and made it look important. Are you sure this is safe? Veltar asked Captain Juan for the 10th time. Completely safe, Juan replied, piloting the ship through Earth's atmosphere. We are just going to a family gathering, very normal and peaceful. What kind of family gathering? Grex asked nervously. My sister is having a barbecue party, Juan explained. It is where families cook food together outside and enjoy each other's company. Lieutenant Day looked back at the aliens from her seat. You will love it. There will be music, games, and lots of food. And animals? General Thane asked weakly. Oh, yes, Engineer Juan said cheerfully. Lots of animals. My whole family will be there. The ship landed in a field outside a small city. Through the windows, the aliens could see green grass, tall trees, and a bright blue sky. It looked peaceful and beautiful. It also looked terrifying. "I cannot believe we are doing this," Captain Morak muttered as they prepared to leave the ship. "Where is your sense of adventure?" Dr. Nari asked with a smile. She clipped a leash to the Vorthak's harness. "Our friend here is excited to meet everyone." The Vorthak wagged its tail and made happy purring sounds. They stepped out of the ship into warm sunlight. The air smelled of growing plants and cooking food. In the distance, they could hear human voices and laughter. "This way," Captain Juan said, leading them toward a group of buildings. As they walked, the aliens noticed movement in the grass around them. Small creatures scurried between the plants. Birds flew overhead. Insects buzzed through the air. "So many life forms," Veltar whispered. "How do you know which ones are dangerous?" "Most of them are not dangerous at all," Lieutenant Day explained. "The dangerous ones usually leave humans alone." "Usually?" Grex asked. "Well," Engineer Juan said thoughtfully, "you have to watch out for the geese." "Geese?" "Large birds. They can be very aggressive during nesting season." The aliens looked around nervously, scanning the sky for attack birds. They reached the backyard, where the party was taking place. The aliens stopped walking and stared. Dozens of humans were scattered around a large grass area. Children ran and played games. Adults stood around talking and laughing. Elderly humans sat in comfortable chairs, watching everything with gentle smiles, and everywhere, moving freely among the humans, were animals. A massive dog, even larger than the one in Dr. Nari's hologram, was playing catch with 3 human children. The creature could have eaten any of the children in one bite, but instead it gently caught a ball in its mouth and brought it back for them to throw again. "That is Barum," Dr. Nari said proudly. "He loves children more than anything in the world." Near the food tables, 2 cats sat watching the preparations. When a human child dropped a piece of meat, one of the cats grabbed it and brought it back to the child instead of eating it. "The cats are helping with cooking?" General Thane asked in amazement. "They are making sure no food goes to waste," Captain Juan explained. An elderly human man walked toward them. He moved slowly but confidently. Behind him followed an enormous creature that made even the Vorthak look small. "That is my grandfather Ho," Captain Juan said, "and that is his bull Taiyang." The bull was a mountain of muscle and horn. Its eyes were dark and intelligent. Its hooves left deep marks in the ground with each step. Grandfather Ho reached the group and smiled at the aliens. "Welcome to our home," he said in a kind voice. Then he noticed the Vorthak. "What a beautiful creature," he said, walking straight toward the galaxy's most feared predator. "May I pet it?" Before anyone could answer, Grandfather Ho was scratching the Vorthak behind its ears. The creature purred and leaned into his touch. "Very friendly," the old man said approvingly. "You can tell it has been raised with love." Behind him, the massive bull made a soft sound and came closer to investigate the Vorthak. The 2 creatures sniffed each other politely, then touched noses in greeting. War Chief Grex watched a human grandfather introduce a galactic killing machine to a farm animal like they were old friends meeting at a party. "I think I need to sit down," he whispered. "Over here," called a voice. A human woman was waving at them from near the food. "You must be the visitors from space." This was Juan's sister, Yan. She wore a simple dress and had flour on her hands. From cooking, she looked completely ordinary, except for one thing. She was surrounded by dogs. Not just one or two dogs. At least 8 large dogs sat around her in a perfect circle. They watched her every movement with alert, intelligent eyes. "I train rescue dogs," she explained as the group approached. "These are all dogs that used to be fighters or guards. Now they help people." She gestured to one of the dogs, a massive creature with scars on its face. "This is Gangja. He used to work for the military. Now he helps children who are afraid learn to be brave again." As if summoned by her words, a small human child ran up to the scarred dog. The child looked no bigger than the dog's head, but he threw his arms around the creature's neck in a fearless hug. "The child is not afraid?" Captain Morak asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Why would he be afraid?" Yeon asked, confused. "Gangja loves children. He would die before letting anything hurt them." Lieutenant Day pulled out her recording equipment. Again. "The trust levels here are incredible. No species should be able to achieve this level of interspecies cooperation." "We have been doing it for thousands of years," Engineer Wan said. "It is normal for us." A young human boy came running toward the group. He was riding on the back of a horse, but he was not holding any reins. He guided the massive animal with just his voice and the pressure of his legs. "That is my nephew Bin," Captain Juan said proudly. "He has been riding since he was 3 years old." The boy jumped down from the horse and ran to hug his uncle. The horse followed him like a loyal friend. "Can I ride the space dragon?" Bin asked, pointing at the Vorthak. "It is not a dragon," Dr. Nari explained gently, "and it might be too big for you to ride safely." "That is okay," Bin said cheerfully. "Can I pet it?" Before anyone could stop him, the 8-year-old human walked straight up to the Vorthak. The creature lowered its massive head and the boy scratched its nose. "You are a good boy, aren't you?" Bin said to the creature. "I can tell." The Vorthak's tail wagged so hard it knocked over an empty chair. Commander Veltar felt reality shifting around him. A human child had just called the galaxy's most dangerous predator a good boy, and the creature was wagging its tail in response. "How?" he asked Dr. Nari. "How do you do this? How do you make everything want to protect you instead of eat you?" Dr. Nari watched her nephew playing with the Vorthak, while Grandfather Ho's bull looked on approvingly. "We do not make them do anything," she said softly. "We just show them that they have a choice. They can be killers, or they can be family. Most creatures, when given the choice, choose family." War Chief Grex sat down heavily on a picnic bench. Around him, human children played with creatures that could destroy armies. Elderly humans chatted with dangerous predators like old friends. A bull and a Vorthak were sharing the same water bowl. "What does this make us?" he asked quietly. "If humans can turn the galaxy's most feared creatures into pets, what does that make the rest of us?" Captain Juan heard the question and sat down beside the giant alien warrior. "It makes you our friends," he said simply. "If you want to be." In the distance, young Bin was now teaching the Vorthak how to play fetch. The creature was learning to bring the ball back gently instead of destroying it. "We have spent our entire lives believing that strength comes from being feared," General Thane said slowly. "But you have shown us something different. Strength comes from being loved," Lieutenant Day agreed, "and choosing to love others in return." That evening, as the sun set over the peaceful farm, Commander Veltar sent his report to the Galactic Council. He recommended immediate full membership for humanity in the Council, with one special condition. He suggested that humans be put in charge of all dangerous creature management across the galaxy, because if they could turn a Vorthak into a family pet in 3 days, there was no telling what other miracles they could achieve. The last line of his report was simple. Humans do not survive their death world by being stronger than their predators. They survive by making their predators choose to protect them instead. This is not just adaptation. This is mastery of life itself. As he finished writing, the Vorthak curled up next to his chair and began to purr. Even Commander Veltar found himself reaching down to scratch behind its ears. After all, it really was a very good boy.